With the recently announced hand cannon changes coming with Beyond Light, I figured now's a great time, a phenomenal time, to make a video explaining my approach to using Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades is a 140 RPM hand cannon that released with Forsaken, and I'll tell you guys, this hand cannon is fucking loaded with hidden perks, and it packs quite a punch, given you actually understand how to use it. I'm going to start right off with some numbers here, specifically range. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take a moment here to kind of suggest that numbers aren't necessarily too crazy important outside of a vacuum. Range numbers they're important up to a degree in a sense that like you're able to know if your ace will lose to a dire promise, down range, or max range, better devils, or something like that. Okay, so with that out of the way, the actual numbers here. Ace of Spades without Memento Mori active is the same as any standard 140 RPM hand cannon, sitting at a nice 70 crit 45 body, which translates to a 3 crit for optimal 0.87 time to kill, which is 870 milliseconds, or 5 body for a maximum base time to kill of 1.71 seconds. With Memento Mori active, the damage numbers are elevated to a very nice 90 crit 60 body. This leaves us with a really nice optimal shots to kill of 3 still, and an optimal TTK of still 0.87 seconds, and a new base TTK of 1.3 seconds, but with a much easier to land 1 crit 2 body or 4 body. Range-wise, Ace of Spades sits comfortably around a 30 meter range to land its optimal 3 crit shots to kill without Memento Mori, and with the perk active, your range sits right around the 32 meter mark, I believe. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this out here and put a warning note officially. These numbers are subject to change in the future and are probably outright wrong right now as the date of the video, so I'll just suggest get a feel for the range visually, which is the point I initially was trying to make by mentioning that range numbers don't really mean anything outside of a vacuum, except for like they mean a little bit, but you get what I'm saying. You don't have many references of what range actually looks like in-game other than the size of the character when you're fighting it, so it's just going to be easier and more efficient to learn what a target looks like at X meters. Now I'm going to break down the playstyle of Ace of Spades and explain both why and how I feel it gains its full potential from this style of execution that I'm going to talk about. It's worth really taking a detailed look at the perks that this weapon has, including the exotic perk. This thing has High Cow's Firefly, Super Kill Clip, Outlaw, and Third Eye. That is a lot of perks to have on a single gun. So I'm going to talk about Memento Mori right now. Memento Mori gives Third Eye, which gives you radar while aiming down sights, which pretty much makes Knucklehead radar pointless if you're using this gun. It also grants Memento Mori rounds when you get a kill and reload with it, similar to Kill Clip, and it actually gives that Outlaw if it was a precision kill. So that, that's a package. Memento Mori rounds are a permanent kill clip that lasts for 6 bullets and can't be stored in your backpack, but that puts a little bit of a damper on players who have a playstyle centered more on a reliance of special weapons, and this is regardless if it's like due to poor spacing or if it's just how they play, like maybe a sniper using this hand cannon. For me, ideally when using this, the focus is going to be weighted far more towards camping the hand cannon due to the potency of Memento Mori. What I mean by this is you definitely want to be more focused on capitalizing on the very I shoot tank shells out of my hand cannon-esque nature of Memento Mori, which is generally speaking going to mean you're playing a little bit more of an anchor role, more neutral, albeit you can probably get away with doing this pretty aggressively just due to how easy it is to land that optimal time to kill when you have this perk active. So some things to consider while considering with the aforementioned. What type of angles are you working with? Are you holding close to a door that's near a wall, which will enable you to get shotgunned for a lot of free damage? A great example of this is the main blue door on Javelin 4. Alright, so I'm going to do some live gameplay commentary here where I kind of show some good examples of these mentioned bullet points that I'm bringing up. So I throw my arc bolt there, pretty nice. You can see it's chaining quite a bit of damage. I'm going to run up immediately to try to maximize that damage and get some free kills. I get like 3 off the Firefly with that. I open the round up with a 4-piece. And I know immediately there's no way they spawn anywhere but here, so I'm going to go forward, try to chain my Memento Mori, and I get 1 off of that. I see someone else on the radar, but I back up, take my reload. I was a second too late on the kill clip. I'm going to pick this guy here in the middle, and then immediately I know I've made an error because I see a player and I hear him rushing on the right. I think I have enough time to slide out or like engage the guy with the shotgun, but he's just a little too quick and I get shotgun and lose my entire streak because of that. Are you aggressively on top of falling enemy spawn cycles? This, in my opinion, is probably one of the more or most important things to consider, because if you have map control, a Mementoed Ace just becomes one of the best hand cannons in the game due to the raw damage output it's capable of outputting. 390 damage crits plus a potential Firefly Splash, that's a lot of damage going out, you know, in some mid-range combat. On top of the fact that you're probably hitting people off of spawn as well. There's a lot that goes unsaid, like understated or unsaid. In the last clip, we clearly saw that Firefly definitely has its potency, but in this, I'm gonna show you that, like, just holding the spawn angles in the spawn lane, it's so good with this gun. And you'll see here, I'm literally all over their spawn lane. They cannot get out. I'm not giving them a chance to get out, because if they challenge, I don't have to hit many crits. It's a pretty consistent TTK by me every time. And again, as you can see, I'm juggling my weapons. It's like unfortunate that I dropped Memento Mori, but it's way better than being 2-melee'd by that Titan there. And you can see, even though I'm putting in like baby numbers here, I'm using my utility, I'm shooting people. I throw down a rift because I know I'm going to be taking 2 at once, but it's okay because I'm just spamming shots. The kills aren't necessarily my goal. My goal here is to survive and put out as much damage as possible. And again, you see me, yet another Memento Mori proc here. This is a little bit of an example where I got kind of thirsty and I should have just busted the shotty out, but like you see a great example here. They are not getting a window to ever move out of the spawn because I'm just sitting there spamming bullets. It's worth noting that it's almost always better to swap to a special weapon and drop your Memento Mori just to ensure you don't take a death than it is to completely risk the reproc. This is something that varies from person to person, and I think you're just going to have to make a judgment call on whether or not the risk is more in your favor or if it's actually worth going for. Because, you know, you might drop a really nice streak because you got a little too thirsty on the Memento Mori reproc. So I'm not going to commentate through this whole one, but this is a really good demonstration towards the end of the clip where I die. How almost effortlessly, and just how much I don't think about it. But it just naturally, it's like, hey, I don't want to die here. I'm going to bust out the shotty. But here you can see me playing my range like very well. I'm looking at the radar, abusing that third eye, listening for footsteps, and I'm like moving from end to end so that I can just melt these guys down with this Memento Mori. And here I'm doing it still. I'm looking at the radar. I hear stuff in the background, you know, jetpacks from Titans and, you know, hunter jumps and all this stuff. And I'm just putting in damage, you know, all in an effort. And I like take a step back because I think, oh, this guy has a shotgun probably. I'm going to step back so he can't W key me with it. And if he tries, you know, I have a huge range on him. Here I got kind of pushed out of my comfort zone, I'm not gonna lie. But even here, you'll see, you know, I'm making an effort to keep my spacing, but I'm like, okay, I guess maybe they're going, you know, to where I'm looking. Turns out, no, they're not, they're run at me. So immediately, not even a thought goes by, I get meleeed, the shotgun comes out. The Memento Mori can always get, you know, I can always win a one-on-one gunfight. That's not the problem. And unfortunately I died there because I didn't like quite catch this Titan helicoptering over me. But this is just a great example of how this needs to be an effortless and seamless process. But you should still definitely have a little bit more priority on using that primary, playing your space, playing your range, you know, rotating around, playing the anchor role so that you can maximize your use of Memento Mori to both maintain Memento Mori and just hold enemies in an oppressed state, I guess. And here in this segment, you'll see me being an idiot and, you know, really trying to get the Memento Mori last second, when realistically, I should have been taking the shotgun out, take my shot, and ran all the way through the little bunker. Like, this was a horrible play on my part, and I'm surprised I got away ran this match because I was literally playing like a trash can. But granted, I wasn't warmed up, and I booted the game up just to play this match so I could get gameplay. Because I feel like my gameplay was just my Ace of Spades gameplay was unsatisfactory for the purpose of this video. So yeah, I booted the game up and played this match out just for this video. And we played decently, but you know, it works out. I feel like inherently speaking, Warlock benefits the most from the playstyle of Ace of Spades due to the ability to source very consistent healing from things like Healing Rifts, Devour, Benevolent Dawn, and Healing Grenades. I'm not saying you can't use this gun incredibly well without being on Warlock, but I'm just suggesting that Warlocks most likely make the best use of it due to the Warlock's inherent nature of playing a very anchor-heavy playstyle. Except for Top Down, which is just a Stompy Hunter. And again, I feel like I already demonstrated this one, so there won't be like a POV clip. I feel like most of the clips in this gameplays and all this stuff that I've thrown into this video pretty much demonstrate like how neutral and how much of an anchor style of play you need to be, and you know how abusing your rift and things like that is just augments the play style like 20-fold. So I don't know, I don't really feel the need to throw a clip in here. Hopefully this video gives some insight on how to actually abuse the weapon, and I'll recommend giving it some hours of practice, because this and Thorn are going to be absolute beasts come Beyond Light.